So, if I'm understanding correctly from what you have said, Jeff, we can expect the construction industry to do well, but there are going to be challenges as far as managing materials and labor costs and all that kind of thing.
What is going on, guys? My name is Chris Work here with Profit Dig Live, joined by producer Jerry, who just happens to be at the table this evening. Jerry, glad to see you as always.
Jeff Gibbons is the producer tonight.
That's well, I haven't gotten that. The guy go around the table. You know, that's okay. Yeah, got Jeff Spencer here with us, our construction expert. What's going on, Jeff?
Much how you?
Good, man. Jerry, you doing all right? You feel comfortable at the table?
Doing real good.
You all right? Okay, great.
Good.
And we have our chief technical officer, Jeff Gibbons, who's actually manning the camera this evening. What's going on, Jeff?
Yep. Well, you got any shirt tape?
This boy's in the hoop.
Boys in the hood.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Well, I can't go down that path right now, but I talking about that movie the other day with my kids. But anyway, look, I don't know how you guys feel, but the election is over, and I don't care who you wanted to vote for, who you wanted to win. I'm kind of stressed.
Glad it's over.
I was like, man, I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, man.
We're not able to get back to work and be productive and whatnot. But hey, it's over, and good grief. I mean, it's like immediately afterwards, like I think everybody, even the stock market, I think was stressed. Yeah. It's almost like everybody felt free again. It's like, we got this behind us. Things are moving. You know, stocks are increasing. People's portfolios are
All indications are that America is open for business.
Yeah,
open for business.
And it was so much as in uncertainty, of the last 4 years because nobody knew what was to come.
I know. Yeah, all this foreign conflict.
Yeah.
Everything else. It's
Talking about world wars and everything else. I mean, it was just getting to the point of like what are we going to do? And it felt like us as an individual really didn't have a voice. It's like our voice had been stripped of us. I mean, yeah, we all had concerns and complaints
of the Washington D.C. bureaucracy.
Absolutely,
it's bullshit.
Yeah, they wanted speaking for you,
Right.
for all of us.
And that's not that's not a Republican or Democrat thing. They're all garbage, pretty much for the most part.
Well, that's it. Let's not get close.
I know. No, this is not a political channel.
No.
But so the election happened. Trump won. Jeff, what do you think? How is this going to affect the construction industry?
Well, I think it's going to be a good thing. Some of the people that we work with on a daily and annual basis, I mean, I've got calls and emails from them in the last few days saying that, hey, we've got work that's coming up we don't see any slowdown in the next few years. We want you on board to bid with us, so on and so forth. I don't see any slowdown. I think, we're going to pick up and gain speed from this point on. I mean, when you see the stock market jump almost 1,500 points a day after the election, I mean, that tells you, that we're in a good direction right now.
Yeah. Bitcoin's over $90,000.
Yeah.
What?
Well, and, you stop and think about, look at the Russia-Ukraine war. The day after the election, they start talking about, ceasefire. Like, what are we going to do to end this war? Let's come to terms to end this thing.
Animosity and conflict in the Middle East.
Jump in.
All right. No, come on over, Jeff.
Yeah.
What you got?
I don't even know if I'm in the shot, but one of the things that Trump was promoting was regulation of imports from other countries, putting a lot of tariffs on those. Have your suppliers been talking about the tariffs at all, or has it not affected you domestically?
Well, I mean, you got to stop and think too. When you look at tariffs in general, we pay more tariffs than any other country in the world as far as our stuff that goes into other countries. We have charged some of the least amount of tariffs coming into the United States as any other place in the world. We was talking about the Ukraine war. A lot of our pipe products and steel products come from Ukraine. So this deal of resolving the war is going to really help us. The tariffs and what they're meant to be, I support them 100% because we've got foundries that have been shutting down year after year after year for the last 20 years here in the U.S. because it's cheaper to get the products in from China, Russia, other places like that. So to me, I'm all supportive of it. And just like anything else, if our materials increase, we just have to reflect that in our bids. I mean, it's like, once you're under contract and you've made a deal with your supplier, then they've got to honor those prices. It's going to cost somebody, they've got to figure it out, but they generally, procure their materials for us, just like we procure the materials for that project. So the prices are locked in. So if there's an inflation coming, then I'm fine with that because we will know up front. And I've already got a letter from some of our suppliers saying January 1st, there's going to be about a 16% increase on some of our fittings, some of our like fire hydrants, so on and so forth, stuff of that nature.
Yeah, but that isn't like due to tariffs. They're just saying
They're
it's
just
just a extent of what may come down the pipe at some time. We're going to go ahead and work in this increase so we're protected.
And every year we get the same thing. It's usually like a 20% increase by January 1st. But if you can hang in there until like the end of February, 1st of March, it mellows out. You might end up with an overall 5% increase.
So once the dust settles.
Once the dust settles, everything starts coming down. That's like, they start to test the market, like this supplier here is like, well, I'm going to hit them with this big increase. Everybody else will follow suit. They raise up. Yeah. Well, then it's like it gets competitive again. And like, then they start coming back down because everybody kind of holds back for a little while,
Yeah.
Now, it does sound to me like it is going to be even more important to keep up with your materials prices and update your bidding platform, such as Profit Eagle allows you to do. Okay?
Right. And it doesn't matter about the time. I mean, that's something that you just need to do in general.
In general.
Right. Yeah.
But it's even more important if you haven't implemented such a system now.
Right.
Let's get it in place.
Yeah. Because, your material prices, they can make you or break you. We've talked about that before,
Right. Like if you're bidding based on material prices from 6 months ago, that might be a real bad situation.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's good. I mean, I would recommend every 30 days, updating your material prices and, if it's where you can. But nowadays, your projects that you're bidding on are so fast paced, you've kind of got to go off some old quotes and stuff that you've had, from past or previous projects to get pricing out, to get a bid out, but you got to figure on an average of what materials are going to go up. Mm-hmm. So if I'm using a quote that's 3 months old, just for my own sanity, I'm going to add like 10% to it.
10%?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Just to, you got to stop and think your materials.
Here's the bidding process.
I mean, the bidding
process. Put numbers to paper,
Yeah. And if I don't have time to take off a job and send my takeoff in to get a material quote, sometimes your quotes take, 5 to 7 days to get in from your material suppliers. Nowadays, they want a price back within 7 days or less. So it's going to take me a day or two, to do the takeoff, a few days to do the takeoff, and then a couple of days to do the pricing.
All right.
And so my material suppliers more than likely aren't going to get me a price back quick enough unless I've got like 30 plus days notice before, a job bids. So if I'm using an old quote, I'm going to add, somewhere around 10% to it.
Okay. That makes sense.
And if I get the price,
you said over like a 3-month window even.
Yeah.
Could be. Or
could
3-month window.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could potentially increase your profit margin. If you're bidding this project and you've added 10% to old quote, we talked about in our last video, about contract negotiations. So that gives you the ability, when you get updated pricing, you go back like, 3 months ago I was paying this. I've kind of based my jobs, off of this. I've added a little bit to it, but I need some help. I give you a little bit of leverage and kind of talk to your material suppliers like, hey, we got to kind of come up with a happy medium where I got to find somebody that can.
Yeah. And if there's one place you want to save, I'm assuming it's material. That's a fixed price.
Right.
But labor is up and down. I mean, there's so many factors there. So, yeah. I like it.
And, over the last 4 or 5 years, we have really been hit hard in the labor market because it's hard to find skilled labor. People that specifically can do this certain task or certain task.
Yeah.
and other companies are in need of them too. So, I mean, our labor has really got lopsided in the last few years. I say lopsided. I mean, they're probably at the point they should have been a few years ago, but they jumped up so quickly. You know, inflation and everything else has jumped up so quickly. The pricing market can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, the only way you can come out, you got to speed up production.
Yeah.
So you've got to integrate, you know, to your people, like, you know, hey, I'm giving you this extra money or giving you raises, you know, because I want to keep you because you've been with us for a while or whatever it may be, or you're qualified and you do a great job. We want to keep you. But in order to do that, I mean, when you start talking about a 15, 20% increase in pay to keep somebody, you've got to speed up production because you can't just add that money into your bids because you're not going to win any bids.
Right.
So, I mean, there's lots happened in the last 4 or 5 years, you know, that has really kind of dictated the market, you know, in the price level and uncertainty of pricing projects because it's been hard to keep up and give good, accurate pricing because you just don't know if you can be profitable on the project.
Right.
So, if I'm understanding correctly from what you have said, Jeff, we can expect the construction industry to do well, but there are going to be challenges as far as managing materials and labor costs and all that kind of thing.
Yes. Well, and I know we're not trying to make this political, but, you know, going back to Trump and his current administration that he's building, and also with now having control of the Senate and the House, there's going to be changes he's going to make. He can lock in. There's no more executive orders. I mean, he's going to be able to get stuff passed that ordinarily he wouldn't be able to get passed. So, in my opinion, I think we're going to have about a year and a half or so, maybe even 2 years of a rocky road because undoing everything that's been done the last 4 years to get back on track with what he was doing in his previous term, I think it's going to kind of turn things upside down. So, I mean, yes, project will keep going. If it's going to be stable, I don't know. Okay. I think it's going to be some issues there, you know, that in him doing what he needs to do to get back to the path he was on before. And I think that's one thing that, you know, he's kind of got in mind. You know, it's like I'm going back to my original plan. And, you know, Biden had undone a lot of stuff and put a lot of stuff in place as well. That he's going to try to undo. In doing that, I think there's going to be some uncertainty in the market.
Okay.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, and all presidents do that. That's why when they try to pass some big piece of legislation, it's like it's always by this year that is 15 years in the future. That's what we're going to implement, you know? Yeah. Well, anyway, hey,
I guess.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So, you know, I think everyone is a bit more optimistic. And again, I think it's because you're either happy of the outcome of the election or you're happy that the election is over, regardless of what side of the street you're on. Everybody just seems to be in a better mood. Yep. Let's get back to work. Let's make some money.
That's right.
That's where we're heading, baby.
Yep.
2025 is just around the corner. Appreciate you guys joining us at Profit Dig Live. I was joined here tonight with producer Jerry, Jeff Spencer, our construction expert. Hey, check us out. Like the channel. Subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're looking for the world's easiest to use construction bidding and costing solution.
Version 3 coming out soon.
Coming out soon. Yep. Get our start though, ProfitDig.com. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.